Hey y'all, this is my review for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, season 5, episode 14. As y'all can see, I'm feeling a little festive today. So, I didn't want to waste, this ugly Christmas sweater as well as this $5 matching Nightmare Before Christmas Santa hat. So yeah, I'm getting my money's worth right now. I also wore this in Virtual Big Brother as well. But anywho, how y'all doing? Happy Sunday. This will be my last YouTube video until I get back from New Orleans on Thursday. So yeah, let's get into it. So it is day 2 of the PV trip after an explosive dinner on the first night. It's morning time. We see Bronwyn talking to Todd on FaceTime, saying how much Lisa pissed her off. Like, I don't think these ladies realize, how they give Lisa so much of their power by complaining or coveting her friendship. Like, she is no one's friend. When will they get this? And she is far from that girl. Later we see Heather, Angie, and Whitney doing water aerobics. And, usually this is a fast forward, but I was too busy laughing at Angie because, that rhythm was off. So off, man. Mary has a lot more rhythm to teach her girl. I'm telling you. Afterwards, they're chatting about Bronwyn's blow up on Lisa, and then Heather mentions how she feels Todd treats Bronwyn. Now, does Heather really care? Does she really care? Because I don't know, present day, how she be talking on the after show, I don't really believe her. But I can see from the outside looking in, anyone could think that, Todd is mean to Bronwyn because he does come off, a little dismissive. Heather says that she can relate to this because, with her ex-husband, she dealt with that. And she says she actually feels sorry for Bronwyn. So then fast forward to the ladies doing a yacht day because, of course, we need a yacht day. It should be mandatory for every Housewives girls trip. As they're in the Sprinter, we see Meredith in the back looking uncomfortable with the shades on, just laid out. And I think it was Whitney who asked her, is she doing okay? And she just said I didn't sleep well. We cut to Brittany's confessional, where she reveals that she's not surprised Meredith is exhausted. And we see in a flashback that she told Heather that she woke up in the middle of the night hearing Meredith crying as well as throwing up. Now, I think the vomiting is really what a cause for concern is. Oh, thank you. Wow, you have a Nightmare Before Christmas sweater that lights up. How are we already into the episode? I just got the notification. I know, right? Y'all, look, I put my community posts up at least a few hours before the videos. So I don't get it. YouTube's a hating ass bitch. They really are. But thank you. I'm glad y'all like the little setup. I just wanted to be, a little festive. So with the whole Meredith crying and vomiting in the middle of the night, we're going to hear about this later. You know it. So then when they get off the Sprinter, Meredith is having a tough time trying to walk on the sidewalk in those stripper heels she had on. I'm not really sure why she had those shoes on instead of flip-flops for a yacht day. But of all the people to help her was Angie. Helping her walk on that sidewalk, not Lisa or Heather. But look, here's the progress. It was nice seeing Angie do something nice for her. So the yacht is nice, of course, and everyone is actually getting along for now. That dancing that they were doing on the camera, I don't know. It looked like Angie isn't the only one that lacks rhythm. So then later, they're all chatting, and Lisa talks about, her youngest son, her relationship with him and how he's adjusting at school. Because the ladies are so engaged in this conversation, here we go with Miss What About Me? like Brittany interrupts and says, well, guys, this is really unsupportive. Because, you know, when I talked about my kid, it was crickets. Girl, it is not about you, friend of. It's not about you. And you want a gold star for your daughter talking to you again because you're the one that's a bad mom that put men before them? I don't know. Look, the nerve, I would say, you know, because she says she calls all of them unsupportive, and I'm just so so perplexed as to how Lisa did not go off on her when she's going off on Whitney for less. Y'all notice that? Like Lisa didn't even waste her time even addressing Brittany about it. Like really, it was Brittany and Angie that spoke up for Lisa. But again, like I said in a previous review, I don't think Lisa takes Brittany seriously at all. Like she's just like a joke to her. And then Bronwyn is speaking up, you know, telling Brittany, do you think the idea, like, well, is it the idea of you telling us, you know, to have that you have an announcement that you like, or do you actually like the idea that you're talking to your daughter? I was just like, oh. You know, I mean, I know what Bronwyn was like basically implying. She just wants the attention. She don't really care. But that is a really harsh thing to say. But yeah, Brittany immediately calls her a fucking bitch. Bronwyn then looks at Lisa like, are you gonna say anything, Lisa? I'm looking at you over there. Lisa, you saying anything? I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you. Y'all know how Bronwyn be. Now, I will say with Bronwyn, I totally get this moment. Like, you know, why she called out Lisa, because she's defending your ass. Like, she's the one who interrupted the story about, you know, you talking about your son. And, you know, like, I feel like Lisa could have said something to defend her since, you know, that's the only reason Bronwyn spoke up in the first place. But you know, Lisa, quiet as a church mouse. Like it's just quick crickets on Lisa's behalf, and Bronwyn just goes off on her. And Lisa says she is not responsible for defending anybody. And I'm just like I said, like Lisa is not a friend to nobody. And you know, she says that I will chime in when I want to chime in. Like that's all Bronwyn needed to hear. And I just hate that Bronwyn is getting so upset. Like her face is getting all beet red and flushed out over Lisa Barlow. And then Lisa says, I am mentally exhausted. And, you know, I've been a good friend to you, Bronwyn. I'm trying to be a good friend. Like, well, heifer, you're not. You're just not. I just think for this particular argument that Lisa could have checked Brittany on Bronwyn's behalf, but for whatever reason, she didn't. So now Bronwyn is like, she's on the verge of a nervous breakdown right now, y'all. Like, and now she's grouping all the comments that has been said about her from, you know, most of the cast, like throughout the season up until this point. She said, no one has asked a question about me. Like, I watched this high for the first time. And, you know, the second time I was watching, I was just still a bit confused where all this was coming from, because this started from Brittany, like just being an annoying gnat. You know, it's like, what about me, guys? What about me? My children like me again. You know, so from Bronwyn going all the way to like, you know, I've been called a gold digger, two-faced, treacherous, terrible. Like, it just feels like I'm failing. And now my husband, he's cheating on me. No one asked me about this. Like, you know, I was just like, where did this come from, Bronwyn? I like you. I don't know. Maybe it was the editing. Am I the only one? Let me know. Maybe I just didn't get it. It went over my head. But yeah, like she starts listing what she's been going through. behind the scenes and also includes the infidelity in her marriage. And as soon as she said that, like you hear a loud boom from production. The ladies are gagged that Bronwyn disclosed this information. And now, like, she's talking about it. And, you know, I always felt that Bronwyn was pretty open with the ladies. Like, she was very transparent. Like, I felt like if maybe the topic came up, she would have had no problem disclosing that. But she's pouring out her heart to the ladies now. Let me see. I was confused also. Thank you. Because I was feeling bad. I was just like, where is this coming from? She now cares like about all these ladies' friendships and getting along with them. Bronwyn speaks to people like she's an employee in human resources. She does. Bobbing her head, smiling condescendingly. I don't get the reason why Bronwyn wants Lisa's friendship so bad. Well, you saw the other ladies throughout the other seasons, like how bad they want their friendship. Like the only person who can give like two shits is Mary. Like she don't care. Ooh, yes. Bronwyn sometimes talk to people the way Todd talks to her. Wow. Okay, I appreciate this comment a lot. Yeah, I think something had to be edited out for them to get to like this point. Like it was like a quantum leap for her to get to like going at Lisa to not like, getting along with the other ladies and talking about her infidelity. I mean, Todd's infidelity on her. I'm sick of Brittany and her high body count ass announcements. Pick me vibes. Well, absolutely pick me vibes. She can stay on the show though because she has just enough Delulu to be here. Yeah. And if you are just coming into the chat, welcome. We are pretty much in like I would say a little bit before the middle of the episode. So yes. Meredith and Lisa are trying to make excuses for Todd, it looks like. I mean, at least it comes off that way. I would love to know what y'all thought about this scene. Let me know in the comments. Because she is really putting all her cards out on the table. I thought Lisa was introducing me to friends. It's been tricky and it reinforces a narrative that I'm just not good enough. I'm not good enough for y'all's friendship. It was just wild for me. As she says this, Heather of all people really is rallying, behind her. Lisa, her actual friend, has just like a stone face and she's silent, Like to be like the person that actually knows her and knows her the longest outside of the group, like I would think Lisa would be saying, something, but Heather was the one with the more encouraging words to Bronwyn, like a former enemy. And I will say I did like this coming from Heather, and this is the Heather that I fell in love with in prior seasons. I don't know who this new Heather is. Like we gassed her head up with the receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots. Like I feel like we bucked her head up, y'all. We really did. Now, let me see. Oh, so then we see like some of the other ladies are chiming in and they're opening up as well, about their marriages to Bronwyn. And then they all support her. They give her a hug, even Brittany. That's why I'm just like, I can't believe how this like all started from that to Bronwyn. So then, yeah, they get to the sprinter now, and the girls are still mic'd, and we see Lisa telling, I think, Angie and Heather, like, I don't know, like, did you guys hear that? Like, what did you think? And it kind of came off like, Lisa might have doubted Bronwyn, but there's a fourth wall break because she says, Todd is going to freak out when he sees this. Well, she said on the Watch What Happens Live that she told Todd that night or whatever that she said all this, but Todd did say that he didn't watch it. He didn't watch it back. Mm. I don't be talking this much in real life, y'all. Believe me. um, let's see. Do y'all think that Todd and Bronwyn's marriage is gonna last? I hope so. I don't know. Like, you just never know what happens behind closed doors, but the cameras did pick up like their type of vibe with each other. So we shall see. I mean, she's going to be back next season, hopefully. Oh my God, just seen That's a Nightmare Before Christmas sweater. I was just looking for a lock, shock, and barrel shirt. The problem is that in the after show, Heather changed her mind about Bronwyn throwing Todd under the bus. No doubt after talking to Lisa and Meredith. Yeah, because, Heather is basically Gretchen Wiener. Did anyone clock Bronwyn's reaction when Brittany hugged her, though? It was given she was disgusted to hug Brittany. I mean, it's kind of obvious that she don't really like her like that. Bronwyn can be bought with gifts. So if Todd does something wrong, he can just buy her a $4 million necklace and she will forgive. On their trip, they were going through it. Yeah, I want to know in the reunion. Maybe she'll talk about that. Like, was the necklace really purchased? Like, is it hers or did they just rent it? I was reacting like Lisa when Bronwyn said all that stuff. Honestly, I was scared that woman would be out on the street, dog bites and all. Oh, you would have thought. Well, they don't have a prenup. So, I mean, Todd is cheaper to keep her. Let's just say that. Oh, I saw that announcement, right? Like they both want snowflakes, her and Jared Osmond. So let's get back to the review, y'all. Back at the property, the ladies are having lunch in separate villas. On one side, it's Lisa, Meredith, and Brittany. They're talking about Bronwyn opening up, and Meredith says that she's feeling better, even though something is clearly going on there. In the other villa, Bronwyn says she noticed how when she was pouring her heart out that Lisa just, she was really quiet, not very supportive. And at this point, I was just like, girl, let it go. Stop putting this all on Lisa. Like she shows you time and time again. I just feel like at this point we're beating a dead horse. The horse now, we're to the bones and they're turning into dust. Like just keep beating it. It does seem like AJ and Whitney understand where she's coming from, but Bronwyn says, Lisa is doing just enough to make her feel uncomfortable, but not outright, doing something overtly wrong to her. Do y'all agree? So Heather then joins them in their villa. And Bronwyn says she notices how Meredith and also Lisa seem to side or give sympathy to Todd when she told him about, their relationship and his infidelity. Whitney frames it as, they're defending him as the cheaters because, it's probably because they've both been accused of infidelity. And I totally forgot about that. With Whitney's rumor about Lisa, and then, Meredith stepping out, being, sleeping with everybody in New York. Now, I'm not sure why Whitney would say that in front of Heather, knowing that she's going to run and tell Lisa this. But it actually seems like Heather agrees at the table because she didn't really say anything defending Lisa or Meredith. Bronwyn then parallels this to how Lisa doesn't seem to be in her corner about the situation involving her daughter's grandparents as well. It's just like, oh my God, they're so lovely, they're rich, great looking family. Like, how could they be so terrible? She's not really regarding Bronwyn's feelings of the situation. But again, these heavy expectations on Lisa, I'm just over it at this point. I just don't know why their standards are so high for her. So then a little later, next scene, Mary is finally arriving. She's now in PV. She's getting to the villa. In a flashback, we see that she's, helping her son check in a rehab facility and seeing him off. And I really hope we get some good news involving that at the reunion. Just how her son is doing. When she gets to the villa, Lisa, Meredith, and Brittany, they welcome her. And they ask her, like, why'd you come late? And, Mary gives them a non-answer, but we, the audience, know why she's doing that. Her room is absolutely gorgeous. I was like, does everyone's room look like this in the villas, or did Mary get the primary suite? And if she did, that was very calculated on Lisa's part, because she hates Lisa. I mean, she hates Whitney. And, Bronwyn and Angie, they're probably in the doghouse, with her. So she might have given Mary the primary out of spite. Let's see. So then we see Mary head over to Angie's room, and this was such a tender moment, y'all. Such a tender moment. Like, I wanted to cry because that was just so genuine. Like, who knew? Like, y'all saw where these ladies started off on Monica's season, I believe, when they were at Palm Springs. Like, Mary didn't even want to acknowledge Angie to the point where they have like a legit friendship. Like, that was so nice. Like, that was a hug. Like, girl, I'm glad to see you. We see each other. You know what I'm going through. Someone to confide in. That was just so nice. I love that. Oh, well, thank you, Andrea, for, giving the announcement. Tips are not required, but, it's appreciated. The Cash App is $CDiggy1. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. So then, fast forward to the evening time, and all the ladies are headed to dinner. I thought it was funny. Most of the ladies are dressed down. Like, most are wearing dresses and gowns. And Whitney is like, did I miss the memo? Like, everyone, is it a gown thing? Because she literally just had a top and pants on. And everyone else was like, had gowns on. I just thought that was funny. But as they sit down, we see the surroundings, and I have to agree with that shady ass Whitney said. Like, she said, it feels less like a dinner and more like a Vita Tequila commercial. Like, it was everywhere. Like, they had Vita, like maybe like a 5-foot type of, like 5-foot letters that said Vita behind them. The tequila is placed out. They're drinking the Palomas, and production, they're getting in on it, and they make like a mock commercial. Just silliness. So as they're eating, more funny moments. Like, Mary is the only one who didn't get her food at the table. Lisa asks, like, what she got, and she's like, caprese salad and pastrami soup. Everybody's head went up in confusion. I just looked up from their meal like, pastrami soup? And it turns out she meant minestrone. But I love how all the ladies were polite about it at the table. I feel like if I said that in any situation, my friends probably would have roasted me. But it's so funny that Mary is hilarious without trying. I went to this Michelin star restaurant in August for a friend's birthday. I don't think I'm a fan of minestrone soup. I'm not like a soup person in general. I mean, unless it's gumbo. Someone asked me, what am I doing for Christmas? I am going to New Orleans tomorrow. First thing in the morning, basically in 12 hours. I need to pack really after this. I'm kind of thinking Bronwyn's issue with Lisa stems from Lisa saying Gwen's grandparents were good people after hearing Bronwyn's issues with them. True. That's a good hypothesis. So this sweater, so crazy. I got it on sale. This was at GameStop, I believe. They sell clothes. Like, look it up. GameStop. Nightmare Before, I'm about to say on Elm Street. Nightmare Before Christmas sweater. And I was just like, oh, okay, this is cute, you know? It was basically a product placement, but I think Bravo had no qualms about doing it because of the whole Bethany clause, I'm sure. So then, Brittany gets the mess started by asking Meredith, is she okay? And tells her in front of the whole table that she heard that she was crying last night. And Meredith looks pissed, but confirms that, she was indeed crying. And, she was upset, but she was like, she tells her thanks for asking in like a real nice, nasty tone, But Brittany knows she could have, brought I don't know why I just had a blank just now. Brittany knows she could have brought Meredith to the side to, have that private conversation. Like, girl, are you okay? Because last night, I heard you were crying and, maybe like, I wouldn't say throwing up, but it sounded like, you were, what's the word I'm looking for? Like welching over the toilet or something. Like, it sounded like you were gagging or something. I don't know. But yeah, Brittany knew what time it was. Yes, Brittany wants her moment. So after that awkward silence, Bronwyn then lets Meredith know that she heard about it because it made its way through a few rooms. And then she says she also heard that you were throwing up and there was a lot to be concerned about. Bronwyn also knows what she's doing at the table, and she does not like Brittany. Like, she tried again to throw her under the bus. Meredith said that she did not throw up, and after she says this, Mary's like, ew, trying to eat. And I totally understand Mary because she was the only one having soup. Thank y'all. Retching. That's the word I was looking for. So now the game of telephone has been exposed at the table, and production is showing us. Brittany told Heather, Heather told Angie, and Angie told Bronwyn while she was getting her makeup done. I was cackling because of the extra spice that Angie threw on it. Like, after it got to her, like, she was like saying that she was crying and barfing everywhere. And then I just said, like, could you imagine, like, crying and throwing up everywhere? So the word throw up keeps getting used at the table, and Mary again says she's trying to eat. Meredith is clearly annoyed now, and then the reason she says she was crying was because of the slut shaming. Girl, what? So you woke up in the middle of the night and it was just like, the slut shaming. The slut shaming. I just can't believe it. Like, didn't even involve her. And then Brittany wasn't even slut shamed. So, girl, which is it? Like, I would have kept that to myself because that just raises even more questions. So now it kicks off a chain reaction of arguing because now Angie confronts Meredith about it being resolved, because I'm like, well, if Meredith is crying about the slut shaming, then is she really over, her argument with Angie then? And then Meredith is like, I moved on emotionally, and she doesn't want to go backwards. And I'm just like, girl, you're the one crying in the middle of the night about it. So clearly you have not moved on emotionally. So then Lisa interjects and says Meredith should be able to say how she feels. Angie immediately tells Lisa to stay out of it. But now Lisa, she tells Angie not to tell her what to do. And now they're going back and forth. So when Lisa interrupted, I thought that she was actually helping Angie out because Meredith didn't want to explain like to Angie why she was crying in the first place. She was just like, I'm over it and I want to move on, and then that's when Lisa said, well, instead of moving on, you should be able to say how you feel. So I'm not really sure why Angie kind of snapped at Lisa in that moment. Unless I missed something, y'all. Y'all can correct me. But Angie just basically took it as Lisa being on Meredith's side. So Angie's now letting Lisa have it after Lisa asked her, do you feel like a boss right now? Angie says, you feel like no one can address you. And Lisa tells Angie that she's just mad at her for not agreeing with her. So, Lord, here go Whitney. Like, Lisa do not like you, but Whitney jumps in to tell Lisa that it's interesting when it's your feelings, you want us to all of a sudden care. But if it's our feelings, like, you don't care that much, which is kind of true, seeing, Bronwyn pour her heart out to everybody, and Lisa was just crickets. So now it's Whitney versus Lisa. Lisa tells her, you never cared about my feelings. Whitney says, that's not true. You need to pay attention to how your friends view you, and then accuses Lisa of turning her back on their friendship, as if there was ever a friendship between the two of them. So then Lisa, she says, that's not true, Whitney. Whitney, she says, Whitney, you did some fucked up shit to me, and you're lucky I even look at you or even talk to you. I was like, damn. And then she said, you're not a victim, you're a lying bitch. I was like, whoa. Did anyone else think that Lisa packed Whitney right on up? I was like, I like Whitney, but ooh, she got you, girl. Lisa shut her ass down. She was like, you're lucky I even look at your ass. And you're not a friend, you're a lying bitch. Way harsh. Or Whitney could be like, wow, so are you. So are you. What did y'all think about that? Oh, yes. Whitney's comment, I forgot to bring that up. When she was just like, all of a sudden, Meredith is now the advocate for sluts of America. I will say Whitney has not given that much this season, but her confessionals, they've been on point. But I really think they're going to demote her next season to friend of. I still want her on the show, but just have her on the show as Heather's friend, because she's not really bringing that much. Yes, Brittany is a hot, stinking mess with flies, but she's good TV. Angie and Lisa's argument reminded me of when Sutton was trying to call out Erica and Kyle for whispering about Dorit, and Dorit got mad at Sutton. Yes, exactly. I agree. Lisa was not playing with Whitney that day. She does not F with Whitney at all. You can tell. It is bad blood. Whitney always pokes at a fight, but can never defend herself. Remember when Alexia and Marisol got her on Ultimate Girls Trip? How you let Marisol get the best? I don't even remember that argument. I might have to look that up. We have over 150 people in the chat. Thank you for joining me before we all look at Potomac tonight. And y'all, I'm sure y'all saw that Karen video, y'all. And if you wanted my reaction and Alex's, it is up on, our pop roast. We did 2 pop roasts this week. Just saying. Merry Christmas. So then, after there's a little silence at the table, after Lisa packed Whitney up, Bronwyn tries to interject, and Lisa says, everyone should just stay out of this. And then Bronwyn is like, wait a minute, didn't you just tell Angie that not to tell you what to do? And yeah, now you telling me what to do? She had a point, and Lisa says, Bronwyn, I'll get to you next. I was like, oh, okay. But Lisa doesn't get Bronwyn together so easily because, Bronwyn, she's rapid fire or whatever. And, she'll go toe-to-toe with Lisa easily. She calls Lisa out for now not giving her any sympathy on the boat, and more so siding with Todd. So then Angie interjects and tells Bronwyn, even though, Bronwyn has a tough exterior, she poured her heart out to us. And that's more than, what most of the women in this group does. And she tells Lisa, like, I learned more about Bronwyn's marriage than I know about your whole life. Like implying that Lisa doesn't share much about her life at all and she's very guarded. Did y'all agree with that? So then Lisa is flabbergasted by this and just starts spiraling at the table. What? Really? Really, Angie? Like, she starts to short circuit, y'all. She then starts to cry at the table with not a tear in sight. In her confessional, she says she's shocked that's coming from Angie, who then she accuses of never being her friend. And then back at the table, she gets up and says, I'm fucking leaving. And then storms off crying. I mean, the credits are rolling. And then there's like this long, awkward pause at the table, like just silence. And it's until Mary asks, what happened to dessert? And that is where the episode ends. Just A+, y'all. And then the camera panned to Whitney, trying not to bust out laughing, made it even more funnier. Like, Mary Cosby never changed. Like, I just can't believe I said that about Mary Cosby, but she is just comedic, like just the comedy that we need on this show, the comedy relief. So yeah, y'all, it's another one for me. A 10 out of 10 episode. This was so good. They have not had a bad episode yet. Crazy. Like, they are having a flawless season. Like, I still agree with Brooke Ashley. Like, they're in their like Atlanta bag right now. Like, when Atlanta had that season 4, 5, and 6 run, like, oh my God. Like, they are really in their bags right now. Yeah, whoever did Bronwyn's makeup, they need to be fired immediately. Whitney, I already read this, sorry. It's going to be hard to watch Potomac for the rest of the season, knowing that Karen Jefferson, aka Huger, by way of Surrey or Slurry County, is guilty. Because now I know for a fact she's gaslighting all of us. Right. I agree. But yeah, y'all, this was my review for Salt Lake City. They do not come back until I think January 8th. So we have a little break. I need the break. So I welcome it. But I still have Potomac and Married to Medicine to do. Now, I'm probably not going to have it up tomorrow, y'all, or while I'm in New Orleans. But when I get back to New York on Thursday, I will get to it. And I'll probably just do both videos when I come back. So this will be my last video, at least on YouTube. Patreon fam, y'all will get a video while I'm in New Orleans because, y'all getting Chris's business on there. But yeah, happy holidays, y'all. If I don't see you, have a very Merry Christmas, to all of those that celebrate it. This was really fun. And yeah, I got to get to go packing right now. Let me know in the chat what you thought about this episode. Salt Lake City, they are killing it, y'all. And with that, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And